Hi, everyone. So, um, I have news today. I am very excited to say that as of about an hour ago, just after 3 o'clock, I finished the cookbook. It's done. It's been edited. I've gone over it. I've added all the sections that were missing. It's done. So, what remains now is doing I have to finish the cover. The cover that you guys have been seeing online is a mock-up of the finished cover. I have to do, with the bigger letters and all that. That was just something I had to work with for the time being. So I have that to do, and and I need to have it typeset, and then it will go live. And in fact, I did a test upload to the KDP servers to see how it would look. And while I definitely need to run it through my professional typesetter, thank you. I- it looks really good. I'm I'm wicked proud of myself right now. I'm excited and I'm stoked. I'm really hoping that by August this thing will be out there in your hot little hands. Maybe, for real, and maybe the other book will be too. So I don't know. Fingers are crossed. Yeah. So the cookbook has been my life since November, and it's been really important to me. It's been kind of encompassing my whole life because when I sat down in October last year and I said, what if I do a nonfiction book? I mean, the idea was great. Don't get me wrong. I probably will never do that again, though. NaNoWriMo works really well for fiction, and I was not too happy with myself for how it worked for nonfiction. Not that it didn't work, excuse me, but just that I I don't know, it's even hard to describe. It was so different that I really had a hard time sticking to it and following through. And doing the editing and stuff has been just really tough with COVID. Eh, There's been so much stuff going on in the world between people dying of this horrible disease and people dying of other things affected by COVID, and the political divide that's out there right now, and the riots and the protesting, and and there's so much going on, and I have really been struggling with it as an author, but also as a person. And so I needed to stop and take some time and think to myself about what's important to me. And the cookbook is important to me. Um, Videos are becoming more important to me. I like doing them. I like the response I'm getting from them. I don't like that I yawn on them, so I apologize about that. But there's just something to be said for getting up and doing. For a variety of reasons, there's not a lot that I can do personally on a political level. There's not a lot I can do for my community at a big level. I can donate, I can help out neighbors and friends and family. I can, you know, share words of encouragement, but that's about it. And no, it's not really anybody's business why those are the only things I can do. You can accept that those are the things that I can do. And since I can't do any more, everything hurts. And I actually was reading last week about something, I wish I could remember the name of it. But basically, it's like empathy sickness. You experience there's so much, and it's constantly coming at you and over you and over you and over you, that what you end up with is this exhaustion that has nothing to do with physicality. It's a mental exhaustion, and there's no real way to get away from it. I mean, I'm hearing about riots, and I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." And that's not me, you know? I might agree, I might disagree, I might agree in principle but disagree with the practice. I always have opinions and thoughts and measured words, and I try to see many different sides of situations, and I'm finding myself unable to do that. So I've drawn back from Facebook. Um, Emotional fatigue, that was the word that I was looking for. Um, I'm trying not to be online as much because it's not good for me. It's not good for my anxiety and it's not good for my depression. So I'm doing a little bit more writing. I'm doing a lot more reading. And I'll be honest, I think going to Westeros and dealing with uh, um, the good people of Westeros being, plagued with Joffrey Baratheon, um, is helping more than watching the news right now. I can't do anything about him either, but at least I can put the book down when I reach saturation point. Um, but reading is good for me. And if you're an author, reading is good for you too. Um, it's important to pick up books and read. And I had kind of lost that for a while. Like I said, with COVID and everything that's going on, there was just so much. There's so much of everything. And there's so much I can't even put words to the stuff. It's just this morass. And so taking a break and reading a book or watching a stupid show or, learning a new skill or working on crafts, making masks, things like that. Those are all things that have been helping me to deal with my stress level and to do what I'm able to do. So, yeah, that's where I am. Wish I could take you on a tour of my garden right now, but it's raining, and that's an awesome thing. Um, we've really needed this rain. I don't like to use the sprinkler, and I will often let my plants wilt for a really long time before I will use water because I don't have soaker hoses, and sprinklers waste water to a certain extent. But I just reached a point on Thursday last week where I didn't have a choice anymore. It needed to be done. Things were dying, and that's not good either because that's just a waste of my effort and the plants. And so I went out and I ran the sprinkler and I wetted everything down. And I went out after 30 minutes, which is how long I usually water things for. And the water hadn't even sunk in. It was so dry that the water was just kind of pooling on top. And so I had to let it go for a full hour before I turned it off because otherwise it wouldn't have done no good. It would just evaporated. The upside to that is that doing that meant that this rain can actually get into my dirt and water my plants, which is a very good thing. I have arugula that has sprouted, has come up. It's beautiful. It tastes amazing, and has actually reached the point where it's doing something called bolting, which is when it sends up shoots with flowers and it makes seeds. That's not good from an eaten point of view. It can be slowed down by pulling the tops off of the flowers and things like that. But basically, what it means is I just need to go out and pick the arugula and eat it. Um, my Egyptian walking onions have taken over the universe. Um, you know how they have jokes about people leaving zucchini in people's cars? Yeah, I'm going to be doing that with Egyptian walking onions. Don't come to my house and leave your windows open. Just saying. Um, the purple top turnips and the um, Napa cabbage are looking phenomenal. And what's left of my beans after they were predated upon by the deer are doing all right. We had deer eat some of our tomatoes too, which I've never. Deer don't eat tomatoes. That's especially when there's lettuce right there. You would think they would eat the lettuce. Um, I don't know why, but whatever. it's it is what it is. So I put down fencing on the ground from our old chicken coop, and it's just laying in the grass because the deer don't like to walk on it, and neither does anything else, including myself. But that's okay. Um, I have really kept up on the weeding this year. I'm sure, like tomorrow, if it's dry enough to go out and actually weed, it will have sprung up overnight full. But I have kept abreast of the weeding, and I'm very proud of that because usually by this point in the year, it kind of gets away. Um, my eggplants have finally come up too, which I didn't think I had thought I had lost them and they just weren't going to sprout, but they did. I'm really excited about that because I have a lovely dish called burian, which is a Middle Eastern meatball thing with a sauce that's kind of baba ganoushi. And it's really delicious. And I am going to actually try out a vegan version of it with some vegan meatballs that I had from friends. And excuse me. You use yogurt in the sauce, and there's a cashew yogurt out there that is phenomenal. It's great. It tastes and has the mouthfeel of yogurt. It's yogurt. It's just made with cashews instead of cow juice. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that and sharing that with you. And if you guys are lucky, I might actually do it out there because I got the period encampment started set up. Um, so I have the tent poles out there, and I have my pop up for just practical purposes that will be used to sit the camera underneath probably so that I get better lighting for filming. But the fire pit is out there, both of them in fact, and my tripod and everything is set up to start doing some cooking. And I even have wood out there neatly stacked and currently under wraps so that it does not get wet. I'm really excited about that because I'm looking forward to doing some cooking out there. Um, and I'll be putting up my tent once the current rainy season stops, which is good. And then I have other tents that I might be putting up here. Friends need to air out their pavilion tent, and I was like, "Oh, it would be horrible if I were to have a pavilion tent in my yard. I wouldn't like that at all." So they'll be bringing that over, and I'll set it up, and we'll have a pavilion tent up for a few days and let it air out and sun out. And I'll be setting up a wedge tent that's it's actually a Civil War reproduction era, but I mean, wedge tent is wedge tent. The design has been the same since like forever. So once it's set up, it can just sit there and it can be aired out. We bought it secondhand from somebody who'd had it in storage for a really long time, so it's musty, really musty. And we thought if we leave it sitting up for a year and just use it to store things inside wood, water, cast iron, things like that, then that would let the tent air out, but it would also give a chance for me to have someplace to put stuff. So that all is coming along really well, and I'm really excited about it. So that's where we're at. I'm not really sorry, guys. I guess I didn't get enough sleep. I don't know. I went to bed early last night, but I didn't sleep well, so stuff happens. Anyway, I'm gonna go enjoy the rain and take a shower and get clean and get ready to make my dinner, which is really easy because I'm just doing leftovers today. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to subscribe wherever it is. I think it's down here. Um, And feel free to share the video. And remember, if you have questions, commentary, please don't hesitate. Do comment in down below in YouTube and off to the side if it's in Facebook. I'm always around, and I love to hear from you guys. I am on Facebook in my author page, by the way. I've only stopped doing the kind of the social part of it. I'm still doing the author part of it. So, all right. I'll see you guys later. If not before, I'll see you next Monday.